Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and to today's video where we are going to be attempting to do 3 looks with the Ofra, what is this one called? How do I not know this? The Signature Palette Galaxy. Let's open them up. Very pretty, little tiny purple toned palette. So this is part of my week-long series. What am I calling it? 7 palettes, 7 days, 21 looks. It's growing on you, right? This should be your, like, 4th watch by now. You're like, yes, give me more palette views. Anyway, so if that sounds interesting, please keep watching and we'll get straight into it. This is going to be, I think, the shortest of this week's videos, simply because it's a tiny palette. I think so far, this one has been the most challenging to make 3 distinctive looks, and I don't know that I quite accomplished it, to be perfectly honest with you. I tried, but it has 5 colors, and they're all purple. Apologies for the truck backing up sound, or lorry backing up sound, wherever you are. It keeps on saying, stand well clear, vehicle reversing, stand well clear, vehicle reversing, over and over. So if that's what you're hearing, I'm sorry. Construction workers are still going to work. Betty, get off the plastic! What are you doing? Woo. You're ruining my video! Guilty face. Guilty face. Should I let you go? Should I let you go, guilty face? Hmm? Yeah. Alright. Come on, get out of here. Stop eating the plastic. Come on. Cats. Anyway, so if you've been watching the rest of the videos so far this week, you'll know that we're doing this pretty much in the same formula thing. We're going about it the same way every time. So first we're going to swatch, which will only take a few moments. Then I will show you the 2 looks that I did previous to this one, and then I'll show you how I got this one. So I think the first look I did and this one look really similar, even though I definitely used different techniques. Sorry, they're really jingling. Maybe I should take them off. We're gonna go with it. I don't care. Sorry, guys. Oh, and there's an ambulance sound in the background. Beautiful. Anyway, so this is my first time trying anything from Ofra. I've never tried a highlighter. I've never tried anything from them, so this is kind of like a fun way, I think, to get introduced into them. They're quite pricey for only being £5. I think they're... How much was this? I think it was like £25, something like that. So they're not inexpensive considering that there's only a few shadows in here. I think this one, the middle shade, Neptune, is also a highlighter, if that's correct. Featuring and inspiring our Neptune highlighter, yeah. So obviously I'm using the highlighter on my eyes as an eyeshadow rather than using it as a highlighter. But first, why don't we go ahead and swatch this? I think it's a really pretty, very simple little color story. So they do have the names, but they are written on the back, okay? So if I'm having to refer to it, sorry. So let's just kind of go through them pretty quickly. So we'll just do the swatches here on the hand like usual. I got my towel? Okay, I got my towel. In case of emergencies, what do we need? Our towel, okay. All right, so relatively clean hands. Considering how much I'm washing them right now, they should be very clean. Okay, so this is the first one, which is is it Milky Way? Yeah, Milky Way, and it's very shimmery. It kind of sometimes doesn't look that shimmery, but then all of a sudden it really does. So it's kind of a chunker color. Lots of flakes coming off of that. I think it's hard to see the reflection, but it does have a nice kind of sheen. It almost has like I don't know if you can kind of see it on my finger if I kind of twist it a little bit. It does kind of reflect different colors, a little bit of like a pink undertone in it. I really like it. It's almost like opalescent. I think that might be the right word, where it's kind of shifty, but more like a pearl. That would probably be the closest kind of thing to it. The second shade, which is Stellar, is just a matte light purple. The tones in here are definitely more on, well, at least the two of the purples are more on the pink side, and then one is more on the blue side. So I do have to build these up a little bit. They're not very intense eyeshadows, to be honest with you. They do take a little bit of building. All right, so the third one is Neptune, which is actually the highlighter shade. Okay. It's kind of like a lavender highlighter. Okay, so it's right there. Again, not seeing too much of that sheen, although it definitely does have, like on the finger, you can see the kind of glassy shine that it has on it. Okay, the fourth one is Eclipse, and that is a matte dark purple, still on the more pink side. Stella has decided to groom herself. Thank you, Stella. You're entertaining us in the background. So it's a little bit deeper than, what was it again? Sorry, Stellar, which is what I call Stella sometimes. Stellar. So anyway, it's weird, I know. Anyway, there it is. On camera, they don't look particularly different. Very, very up close. This one definitely has more of a deeper gray tone to it. However, when you'll see in a moment, when you blend them out on the eye, they do tend to look just like the same color, but just slightly darker, the Eclipse one. All right, and the last color is, I believe this is Orion, and it is a shimmery dark kind of blue purple. And again, you'll see they're not like hugely pigmented. They're very pretty though, but they're not like intense pigmentation right from the beginning. Okay, so it's more like a sheen on that one rather than it being like a full-on glitter or foiled metallic, which is why I think I was able to use it pretty well as a crease and kind of an all-over shade for my second look. So that's the palette. I think it's very pretty. I think you're getting a really nice kind of just normal purpley kind of color story. So if you were interested a few weeks back in getting a purple palette because it was all purples everywhere, this might be a good alternative if you like the Ofra eyeshadow formula. So let me show you the looks that I did. Again, you know, it's kind of just monochromatic really, so you're not going to get a huge amount of variety with it. So I definitely gave myself a challenge to do this one. We don't tend to buy palettes just to get one look out of them, unless it's even a quad. You're hoping that you can get a couple of different like levels of intensity or different levels of kind of tones to it. So you do want to see how much you can get out of any single palette that you buy. Fair? So I think for being a 5-pan palette, I'm actually happy with the 3 looks I created, but I really think this is a you can get 2 looks. I think that's like really how much you can get. I mean, you can just do every shadow as a single and then you have 5 different ones. But I think if you're doing how I do it, which is normally have a lighter color, a darker color, and then a shimmer, you're pretty much getting two looks, okay? So the first one I did, remember we're going over here to block the ugly chair. It's apparently very comfortable, but it is very ugly. All right, so the first look I did, I went in with the lighter purple matte to start off with, Stellar. Now, I actually think, so in swatching, these didn't look that great in that they weren't very pigmented, weren't very strongly colored, but on the eyes, they actually blend really nicely. You do have to build them up a little bit, but not like an excessive amount. There's definitely pigment in there. So I went in with Stellar all over the lid, and then I went in with Eclipse to start to deepen up the outer corner and give this look kind of some more depth. This, when I looked at this palette, this was the first look that I thought about, was kind of like the light purple, the dark purple, and then we put in Milky Way as the third color. So these two blended in, I think, really nicely together. Once they're blended, it all does kind of look more uniform, like it's a single color, just lightly faded out. But that's okay. I'm not really that like upset about it. I'm quite happy about that. And then what I did is I went in with Milky Way across the lid just to give a little bit of lightness and a little bit of shimmer. They are not very shimmery. They're more just kind of soft. But I do like the way this one looked out. I may have preferred something more shimmery on the lid to kind of give a bit of contrast, but overall I think it turned out very pretty. Okay, for the second look, I wanted to try the other two shades that I hadn't yet used because that look, the first look used 3 shades. So I decided to go in with only Orion. Is that the right one? Yeah. So with Orion all over the lid and really try and blend and fade it out as much as possible to give the effect that there may be more colors in there than just the one. So I put it on there. It actually worked really well as kind of an all-over shade. I was very happy with that one. So I kind of blended it all out, gave it a little bit of softness around the edges. And then I went in with Neptune, the highlighter shade, to actually cover most of the lid to give it just like a softness on the inner part. It ended up looking a bit gray on the eye, at least to me, but I do like this and I definitely would do it again. What I might have done is what I did today, which I'll show you in a moment, which is actually do a cut crease first so that it's kind of a white base, and then put the Neptune color on top of it so you really get that glow out of it, rather than it kind of just fading out into the purple, which is what I think it did in this look. Okay, and for the last one, which is what I'm wearing on my eyes today, I wanted to I don't really do cut creases very often, so I wanted to challenge myself to do something a little bit different. I also did a dramatic liner and some liner underneath in the lower waterline. But the major thing that I did here is, one, I went kind of just above the crease and a little bit into the crease with Stellar to give me kind of that bright color up at the top. I do like this purple. I think it is very nice and it blends really, really well. So that one is excellent. Actually, all the shades in here are really good, so there's no major issues. So I went in with that above there, and I just buffed out the edges a little bit with Milky Way to kind of soften it so it was less intense. Just wanted it to be really soft. Then I took, I'll put it in the description box, but I used the Sigma eyeshadow base primer. It's really easy because you can just kind of like color it on your eyes like a crayon. And I used that, put it all over into a cut crease form, and then packed on, I did use a brush, but packed on Neptune on top of that. And I think, let me just kind of come up towards the camera a little bit here. I think that worked out way better than when I tried to do this the first time, in that you can really see kind of the foiliness of the Neptune shade. Then I went back in with a little bit more of the Stellar color just to deepen it up a little bit right there, and then I also went in with Milky Way on the brow bone to really lighten everything up. And that's it. So as far as the look goes, I think all three of them I personally think look really similar. I think the only one that was different was probably the one using Orion, the cool purple color, the more blue purple one, because it was a different color. So I don't think you're going to get a huge amount of variety out of this palette, but you're not buying it to do so. You're buying it because you want purples. Okay, so I really don't see any particular issue there. No issue with the quality. I think I would have liked maybe for Milky Way to be more shimmery, more, I don't want to say reflective because that's not the word I'm looking for, but more metallic, I think maybe. It is very pretty, and I think it does nicely like over another color, because then you can kind of see the other color through it, and it just kind of softens it but gives it a little bit of a shine. So that one's really nice. I think actually the eyeshadow formula, especially the mattes, works really well here, so I'm not disappointed at all. I really, really like this little palette. I'm very happy that I have it. So far I think for this week, we're 4 out of 4. There's none that I've really like hated or thought were terrible so far. Let's see, we still got 3 days to go, so who knows what's going to happen in that time period. Anyway guys, that's going to be it for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did like it, you could hit the like button down below. You could subscribe. I always forget which side is the little subscribe button. I think it's here by the chair. And there's also a subscribe button down below. Come hang out. We have just a nice chill, I think a pretty chill time on this channel. I'm trying not to have it be too daunting to have to watch. Anyway, I hope you found it to be a useful video, and we will see you next time, which is tomorrow this week. I usually don't post quite this often. I usually post 3 to 4 videos a week, but this week we're doing every day. You will be very sick of me. So, I hope everyone out there has a really lovely day. Take care of yourselves and each other right now, especially, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye bye.